Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. It's another Monday, which means it's another class. And I got to go through my ritual here. Love doing it because it makes me feel good. A little Valor. A drop of that on my finger and rub that right on the brainstem. Got to have that on the brainstem. It is the best. Probably my favorite blend that Young Living has is Valor. And let's see, the next one that I do, White Angelica. I always like to put a little White Angelica on, take a drop of that on the forehead, the temples, the crown, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Some people put White Angelica on for protection, as they call it. It's like spiritual protection. What I do is I put it on because I like the smell. I think it smells good. It reminds me of my grandmother back in Iowa, like the perfume she used to wear when she'd go to church on Sundays. So it's kind of a comforting aroma for me, kind of brings me back. And now that I've got the oil on my hands, breathing in a little bit, not being creepy or anything, just this is what we do when we're oilers, right? Right. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jay Hawk, and my wife, Lori, who is back on the couch there, she and I are living in Banks, Oregon. We are Young Living distributors. We have been with Young Living since the spring of 2015. And we have our own little company within Young Living called Soaring Hawk Essential Oils. Why do we do this? Because we believe in it. We've seen what it's done for us. And we've seen what it's done for others. You know, the essential oil thing. Yeah, there are some out there that are a little dubious, more than a little dubious. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight, is what sets Young Living apart from these other wannabes. And that is the seed to seal promise. There is nothing like it except with Young Living. So let me grab a little water here, flavored with a drop of Lime Vitality essential oil, which tastes really good. Have to say this, the information in this class is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The information represents what we, independent distributors of Young Living essential oils, have chosen to do to take charge of our own personal health and that of our family. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. If you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition, consult your physician before using these products. That is our legal disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be one. I do not diagnose. All I can do is suggest and say, hey, here's 7 o'clock. Lori's creepy computer voice is back, 7 o'clock. So the seed to seal promise. You may have noticed that over the past couple years, a lot of companies have jumped on the essential oil wellness bandwagon. Places like Bed Bath & Beyond, Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret. I mean, it seems like every store in the mall has essential oils now. Well, heck, even grocery stores have essential oils in their medicine row, all right? Like where you can get the Band-Aids and the contact solution and your aspirin and all that stuff. There they are, little rack of essential oils. Well, got news for you. They claim that it's 100% pure essential oil, but I would wager dollars to donuts that it isn't, because they don't have the seed to seal guarantee that Young Living has. And you can pretty much wager those oils are not 100% pure, because the government allows essential oil companies, people who manufacture essential oils, they allow them to have only 5% true essential oil in their product, and they can claim that it's 100% pure. To me, I think that's hogwash. I think that's a travesty. And I think the government should be ashamed of itself for doing that. But there are a lot of things the government should be ashamed of itself for. And I'm not getting into politics. I just don't do that. But it is impossible to plant, harvest, distill, test and bottle, and ship 100% pure essential oils for only $4.99 a bottle. It cannot be done if it's 100% pure. You'd be out of business within 2 months if you did that, unless you use 100% pure essential oils all the time. Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but they're worth it because these do work. Those oils, the ones in the grocery store, synthetics, toxins, floral water, and the ever popular and undefinable fragrance. Do you know that a company can say fragrance on their bottle of essential oil, and they can claim it's a trade secret and not disclose what's in it? Yeah, sounds kind of shady, don't you think? I do. Well, Young Living is different. Young Living embraces a rigorous quality control standard to help ensure that our products meet strict specifications. I'm talking very strict. Seed to Seal is our set of standards that help to ensure that every pure essential oil and Young Living product that your family uses, that you're enjoying the benefits of our global resources, the industry leadership that Young Living has, and over 2 decades of innovation, if not more, because there's a lot of history with Young Living, more so than any other essential oil company in the country. The result, you get a great final product that you know has been created with conscientious sourcing, science, and standards. Those are the 3 pillars of Seed to Seal: sourcing, science, and standards. And no, we don't do quizzes, so there's not going to be a quiz later, but just remember that: sourcing, science, and standards. So as the leader of the world's essential oil movement, Young Living is paving the way for all these other essential oil companies and kind of challenging them. Improve your standards. Yeah, protect the planet and ensure the highest quality standards with the essential oils. Young Living does it, others don't. They don't. So let's start off with sourcing. The first pillar, sourcing. Not all essential oils are created equally. They're not. Young Living will never knowingly compromise an oil by adding synthetics, contaminants, or cheap fillers, or by using unethical production practices. We don't cheat, in other words. Don't cut corners. Young Living Chief Supply Officer Lauren Walker, great lady. I've met her. She's a wonderful lady. She guides the process of sourcing products from carefully vetted corporate-owned farms, partner farms, and Seed to Seal certified suppliers, and she tests them extensively. Not just the product, she tests the farms to make sure that they're up to standards. If our exhaustive tests show that a product doesn't meet our standards, we don't buy it, we reject the batch, it doesn't go in a bottle. It's that simple. We don't add anything to it. If it doesn't match up, that's it. So our oils are sourced from our corporate-owned farms, partner farms, and Seed to Seal certified suppliers. Those are our 3 sources. This empowers us to source conscientiously and with sensitivity to local communities and also the local ecosystems. We grow plants where they normally grow and where we get the best results for growing them, so we can get the best oils out of them. That's what Young Living research does. That's all part of sourcing. Now, we vet and select our like-minded suppliers according to 5 principles. You've got established relationships, Seed to Seal specifications, binding agreements, stringent testing, and ongoing audits. If there is a partner farm or a Seed to Seal approved farm that slips, that goes below, yeah, we're still going to do business with them, but not with that product that's below par. That gets refused. That doesn't get purchased. And with our expanded distribution center, oh, they did a wonderful thing like that. It's in Spanish Fork, Utah. They also have another one in Memphis now. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Fantastic. Use the best manufacturing practices to test essential oils, ingredients, and products, and to formulate and manufacture the innovative offerings that Young Living members love. There's so many things. It's not just oils, it's oils and products. We choose to work only with partners we trust. Not just anyone off the street can say, hey, got this field, you want to buy my spearmint? Doesn't work that way. But even with that trust that we have with people we've worked with for a long time, we still engage third-party global experts to validate that our standards are being upheld with Young Living. This helps to ensure that inferior or unethically sourced ingredients don't get into the bottles of oil. The Young Living Essential Oil Sourcing Standard helps to ensure high level of quality and authenticity of essential oils while encouraging responsible practices of production and processing at all stages of the supply chain. So from start to finish, it's overseen, it's looked over constantly, it's under a microscope. Literally, it's under a microscope. Young Living also works with SCS Global Services, which is a global expert in environmental and sustainability certification, standards developments, responsible sourcing, and business solutions. We work with them on the details of the development and implementation of the Young Living Essential Oils Sourcing Standard. So the Young Living Essential Oils Sourcing Standard applies to all stages of the essential oil supply chain, including farms, wildcrafting operations, processing facilities like distilleries, as well as Young Living owned farms, the corporate owned farms. It applies to Young Living suppliers as well. They must meet these high standards in authentication. Also, agricultural practices, harvesting and collection, extraction and distillation practices, testing, traceability, storage and bottling. They have to meet all those standards or it doesn't get bottled by Young Living. Other companies cut corners. Young Living doesn't. The second pillar, science. Science! Yes, love science. I used to hate it, but I love it now. Science is the cornerstone of what Young Living does. We have a trained scientific staff of employees, cutting-edge methods to develop new products, as well as help ensure the quality, the 100% pure quality of our oils. Both the D. Gary Young Research Institute and quality teams led by Chief Science Officer Dr. Michael Buch. You were expecting me to say Chief Science Officer Mr. Spock, weren't you? But no, it's Chief Science Officer Dr. Michael Buch. Great guy, fantastic guy. Met him and he said, now call me Mike. Okay, Mike. So Mike's in charge of this. And he works in a state-of-the-art lab with some of the most advanced scientific equipment available and some of the best people around. The quality starts at the farm and is proven in the lab. Through the stringent, unyielding quality benchmarks, we're able to identify the most pure, genuine, and effective ingredients. I mean, face it, if you've got good seed and you grow it right and you harvest it correctly and you distill it properly and you test it, it should test out really well. Then you can bottle it and off you go. The quality control team uses a battery of physical, chemical, and microbiological scientific tests to measure the exact components and properties of the essential oils. Each test is repeated numerous times during the quality process. It's not a one and done. It happens over and over. Testing begins at the farm, continues all the way through the final stages prior to shipment. So it's being tested all the way through. The team is highly trained, they're highly skilled, they're scientists. Again, these aren't just people off the street. These are people that know what they're doing with these high-tech equipment things. They perform state-of-the-art tests, including things like refractometry, okay, or metry, viscometry, densitometry. They have the mass spectrometers that that look at the gas chromatographies. They have all these technical equipments. Well, our neighbor, who is also a Young Living member, by the way, Our neighbor retired recently from Intel. If you know what Intel is, microchip and all that, computer stuff. Well, when we were first introduced to Young Living, we were tossing some of these names out there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's high tech stuff." So he knew exactly what we were talking about. They test for combustibility, flash point, isotope radio mass spectrometry. I mean, so much stuff that they do. These oils go through rigorous testing. Now, while our labs can conduct all of these tests, we routinely use third-party labs to supplement our internal testing. Each of these labs have highly skilled and trained scientists. So there's the science behind it. The third pillar is standards. Part of our stewardship is to do business responsibly. From sustainably sourcing plants to uplifting local communities and to complying with environmental and other laws. We've got a legal department that works on these things. They are in constant contact with countries where Young Living gets their plants. And we're constantly getting updates on what the legalities are for obtaining certain plants. There are some you can't get. There are some that are protected species and you cannot harvest them. Young Living does not do that. We do not harvest plants that cannot be sustained. So there are inexpensive essential oils out there. We know that. You've seen them. $3.99 at the gas station. Look, I got lavender. Didn't I get a good deal? No, you didn't. What you got was a bottle of floral water with some synthetics and some artificial fragrance tossed in there, and maybe a drop of essential oil. In other words, you got taken, and that's not going to do anything for you. You may sniff it and go, "Ooh, it smells pretty." It's not. It's not real. It's not 100% pure essential oils. So a lot of these inexpensive oils use synthetic, adulterated, or unethically sourced materials, which is why Young Living chooses partners who produce pure essential oils and ingredients ethically and legally. This practice sets a top-tier standard for sustainability. What's the use of harvesting something and marketing it if you're going to use it all up in 2 years? That's not going to do you any good. You may make a profit, but that's not going to do you any good because people are going to want that product and it's gone now. So that's one reason Young Living does things in a sustainable fashion. If we find out something's disappearing, we plant more of it. We find places to plant it and then don't harvest it. I mean, there are places that Young Living owns that they are growing plants. Maybe we'll harvest them later if it's sustainable, but it has to be sustainable first. It's all part of a global compliance program, if you will. We run our business ethically and legally from sourcing and producing the essential oils. There's a global compliance program, which includes the Young Living Code of Conduct, the Employee Handbook, policies and procedures, the anti-corruption policy, environmental compliance policy, compliance programs of the Lacey Act compliance program, travel and expense policy, direct selling association, code of ethics. So many rules that need to be followed, and Young Living does play by the rules. We do not cut corners. We do not. Young Living is also an industry green leader. So aside from having a great supply chain, Young Living's commitment to sustainable business includes reforestation of harvested trees. We don't just cut, we cut and replant. That's how it goes. You can't run out of these things. They have to be sustainable. That is a key word in Young Living's business practices. Recycling at Young Living offices. They're doing a bunch of stuff there. And the construction of the brand new headquarters in Lehi, Utah, fantastic and green. It's so green. It's fantastic what they've done with that. So there are so many things that sets Young Living apart. And the gold standard program is Seed to Seal. It sets the precedent for the industry and demonstrates Young Living's commitment to lead the essential oil movement by protecting delicate landscapes and plants. You've got your sourcing, you've got your science, you've got everything else. Yeah, yep. You've got sourcing, you've got science, you've got standards. That's what the Seed to Seal promise really boils down to. Those three things. It's something that other companies don't have, more than likely will never have. You see, there's a reason why Young Living is the worldwide leader in essential oils. There's a reason why these other companies have targeted Young Living with sometimes slanderous claims. Those companies didn't have Gary Young to lead the way, to blaze the trail. They don't have their own recognized pioneer of essential oil usage in North America. All the information that some of these other companies have, most of these other companies, came from Young Living and Gary Young. That's the stepping stone that they used. They didn't go out and do the research. They didn't go out into the jungles and hack through the brush to find these plants. Gary did. And they piggybacked on him. And then, as if to add insult to injury, they add synthetics, they add fragrance, they add floral water to these things and sell them cheaper than Young Living. Well, you're not going to get the same results. You're definitely not going to get the same results, because 100% pure therapeutic grade essential oils from Young Living can do some wonderful things. We've seen the difference. We bought that fake lavender before. Yeah, it smelled good. Didn't get the same benefits from it that we do with Young Living, that's for darn sure. Put it on my skin. Gee, I've got a little bit of a rash there. What happened? Well, Young Living, put it on my skin. Feels good, looks good, doesn't do anything. I mean, it doesn't react. It doesn't make my skin break out. The other stuff did. Why? Synthetics, toxins, all kinds of poisons in there. But they get away with it by saying fragrance. So please be careful with that. Everything these companies did piggybacked off of what Gary did before and what Young Living is doing. We are the pioneers. We are the trailblazers for essential oil usage. And the Seed to Seal promise, with those three pillars, sourcing, science, and standards, that's the backbone of this company. That's one reason why we trust Young Living so much. And it guarantees Young Living has the highest quality essential oils on the planet. So that is the Seed to Seal promise. Sourcing, science, standards. It goes from the seed to harvesting, to distilling, to testing, to bottling and shipping out. Those 5 standards there, that sets Young Living apart from the others. So if you would like to start using the best essential oils around, we can help you with that. Premium starter kit valued at well over $400, but it's available to new members for only $165. I mean, that is fantastic savings. It really, really is. You get 12 oils, a diffuser, lots of other goodies in with that. Plus, if you enroll with Lori and I, we'll have a little thank you gift for you. We like doing that. We take care of our people. We do. So next week, we're going to take a look at Young Living's farms. Yeah, we are going to get down and dirty and grubby and muddy, and we are going to explain what makes the farms so much different with Young Living than with other companies. Now I'll give you a hint. The other companies don't own their own farms. Young Living does. And it all begins, as Gary used to say, it all begins with the dirt. Yeah, it's the soil. If the soil isn't good, it's not going to help the seed at all. So you got to start with the soil. So there are corporate-owned farms that members can visit anytime, partner farms that offer tours. Lori and I went to one recently. Fantastic. Peppermint and spearmint grown at the Labby Mint Farms up in Central Washington. Had a great time there. No other essential oil company can make those claims. It's just another way that Young Living is ahead of the pack. So if you would like to become a Young Living member, we would love to help you, or you can talk to the person who invited you to watch this class, and they can help you. If you are already a Young Living member, feel free to share this with your friends. We will also be posting this on our YouTube channel, which is Soaring Hawk EO. We are on there, and we love to take these videos and post them on there so we can get a broad audience that way as well. So until next week, when we are going to be talking about the Young Living Farms, on behalf of my wife Lori and our cat Sophia, who is prowling around here somewhere. I felt her rub up against my leg a little while ago. She's upset because we haven't done an oils and animals class in a while. We may have to add that on. So because she gets the really good treats whenever we do that class. So until next time, take care. God bless.